You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I look at it like this, you know, I gave Biggie Smalls his name, Puffy, you understand? He got the name Diddy from me and Biggie just having fun, joking around, and Biggie was like, yo, watch this, Mel Love, and he was like, yo, Diddy. You understand?
No, I'm joking.
Nah. But listen, this is where this come from. This come from a video game.
I know the
Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
because we used to go down to 42nd Street when they used to have the arcade games down there. A lot of people don't know that. My age, where I come from, this is where we used to hang out at. Jay-Z wasn't the only one with the blueprint, my nigga.
Hey,
my sisters, my kings, my queens, my people.
Oh yeah.
Come on, this is innovative right here. This is the light from God. And every time I show up, I'm going to show you God's light. That's it.
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah.
Let's talk more action. Let's get it.
How y'all doing, everybody? It's your boy C-Style, reporting live from Harlem, USA. Parrot Blues, for those who was wondering and knowing. With the legendary man, the myth, the legend, the movement you gotta be moved with. My man Mel Love, Link to Link. What up, family?
Sure, Link to Link. Blessings, family. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy birthday in advance as well, bro.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Let people know where you from, and the work you had done in the past.
Yeah, I'm a Harlem legend. I'm from Jefferson Project.
Jeff, stand up.
12th Street between 1st and 2nd.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I've been working in this industry for a very long time, you know. I stay silent. I've been the man in the background doing what I'm doing, aka the outlet. All the plugs come to me. Some of my friends call me the Black Forrest Gump.
The Black Forrest Gump?
I mean?
Wow.
So many stories.
Okay.
You know how Forrest Gump was with the stories and everything. So, but my stories is true. Real life situations. Get ready for my documentary coming too, What My Eyes Seen. That's the name of my documentary, Life After Bad Boy.
You also used to manage, rest in peace, Black Rob. Talk about that.
Well,
G-Def.
Black Rob, good friend of mine. I grew up with him in Harlem, Jefferson Project.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, actually, it was two of my other friends, Sean Blacks and Harlem Mad Dad, Mr. Stash. You know, we did a TV show called Follow the Flavor back in the day. That's before the internet and everything. Only ones that was on the air was our TV show, Follow the Flavor, and Ralph McDaniels. Ralph McDaniels Video Music Box. You know, we had Hot Tracks and, you know, a couple of other ones I can't even remember right now, but we was the hottest TV show on the air at that time, Follow the Flavor TV show, which made us ghetto superstars, you know, everywhere. We was in everybody's city, state, they hood, bringing cameras, and we allowed people to, you know, giving them a platform where they was able to speak their truth, show their music videos, and then we started hooking up with different companies like R&R Freelance that gave us the music videos and also patched us into all the upcoming artists, you know, such as Coolio and, you know, Eazy-E, with Hoes with Attitudes. And then when I got introduced to them, then me and Eazy-E became good friends. So he was telling me about his group, Hoes with Attitudes and Bone Thugs and Harmony. So I told him, you know, anything that I'm doing, he's welcome to. You know, I was one of the biggest promoters in Club Speed, so everybody used to come down to Club Speed and everything like that. So back to what I was saying with Follow the Flavor TV show, you know, those who don't understand what Follow the Flavor was a platform that I created with two of my good friends, Sean Blacks and Harlem Mad Dad, which his name is Mr. Stash. And you know, giving this platform was something for all artists, you know, to live their truth, show their music videos, you know, and, you know, just talk about things that's going on in their hood. Like I said, we was in everybody's hood. Used to go out to Queens with Mob D. We used to be in the studio at D&D Studios with MOP. That's when we was the first ones to be there when they did How About Some Hardcore.
We like it raw.
You know what I mean? Big ups to MOP Lays, which is their manager. I knew them for years. You know what I mean? So this is how far back I'm trying to tell you I go. Even with Little Vicious and Dougie Fresh, you know, I'm the engineer who produced that record with them, you know what I mean? So this is, these are my peoples from day one, you know what I mean? The situation that happened, I was going downtown because I'm a hustler, you know what I mean? I was selling watches. I'm on Canal Street and I'm walking through, bumped into Dougie Fresh, who introduced me to Little Vicious, a little kid at the time, and they outside standing talking about, damn, we gotta produce this record with Little Vicious. This is my new artist, and the engineer, there's no engineer there. So I said, I can engineer, no problem, don't worry about it. So that's how I got to engineer that project for Dougie Fresh and Little Vicious, which is family to this day, you know what I mean? So big shout outs to them, you know? But, you know, being on the TV, which was Time Warner Cable at the time, Follow the Flavor TV show.
Public access, right?
Yes, public access, downtown Manhattan. So, you know, big shout outs to my Aunt Judy for allowing me to use her camera, you know, to come up with these ideas and, you know, tape everybody that I was filming. So my Aunt Judy, you know, she really believed in my dream back then, you know, and I appreciate my Aunt Judy for that. I love her with all my heart. So by having a TV show, you know, I'm going around my hood, so Black Rob, he banging on the table, you know what I mean, rapping and everything like that. So as he rapping, I told Mad Dad and Sean, I said, let's film him. So we filming him and we exposing what Black Rob is doing. You know, now we in the hood, now everybody knew Black Rob from running up in the crib and robbing people and doing what they doing and stuff like that. But I seen something else in Rob that day when he was banging on the table and everything, and I was like, yo, you dope, let's film this and capture this moment, you know? So we caught the moment and everything. So fast forward, I'm down at Uptown MCA where I was working at, and I'm in the conference room, and Puffy came in the conference room one day. I was playing it on the screen, and he was like, Playboy, who's that? And I said, oh, that's my friend Rob. So he was like, oh, he sound good, bring him down. So I brought him down to Uptown MCA. You know what I mean? So Black Rob was a part of Uptown Bad Boy for a long time. You know what I mean? Because of me being down there working for Uptown MCA for Kirk Burroughs and Sean Puffy Combs and Andre Harrell.
Rest in peace to the brother Andre.
He was being developed, you know, and when he finally got on Bad Boy, you know, then he was writing and he was doing a lot, you know what I mean? He ghost writ for a lot, you know, he did his own albums and everything like that. So that's how Black Rob got down to Uptown MCA, you know what I mean? Just to keep it real, you know. But Black Rob always told me, he was like, yo, Mel, you know, I don't want to, you know, speak your name, you know what I mean? Because I don't want too many people to know what's going on, because man, people will saturate you, because you know back then everybody would come up to you and be like, listen to my demo, hey, could you do this, this is my tape, this and that, you know. So I got it at first. I didn't like it, because I'm like, come on, I put you on and I put you in place here, you know what I mean? So shout me out on the radio, show love, you know, because you know it's like getting stamped, you know. If you put somebody on, I'm the one that put you on, so now in the verse you're supposed to help out and return the favor. So he was like, nah, Mel, we're gonna do it different. Just stay in the background doing what you're doing. Don't let nobody know. It's gonna be a time when the world is gonna know who you are, but just be patient. Just do what you gotta do. So I try to follow that concept, you know what I mean? And I played the background, you know what I mean? And I just kept on going. We doing what we doing. I was the second manager that Black Rob had, because when I brought him down there, he had a female that was managing him, you know, so a situation happened with them and everything like that. Kirk Burroughs called me on the phone and was like, yo, Mel, Black Rob is outrageous. He can't be controlled. Since you grew up with him, I think it's only right that you be assigned to start managing him. So I was like, wow, I appreciate that. You know what I mean? That's an opportunity for me, because I started out at Uptown as an intern, you know, for Kirk Burroughs. And when he hired me, but I was the first paid intern. So that's the difference.
You know?
because at that time I was young. I left my house, you know, and I was on the streets riding the train back and forth. I was in and out the club, staying in the club. So that's how I knew every single security guard that worked in the club, so I can go inside the club. So if those that don't know how I was able to get in these nightclubs at a young age is because I knew every single owner of the place. And I knew the guards because these are the places that I was sleeping at, you know what I mean, to get some rest because I left my house. Now, I had a home to always go to because I had a good dad that took care of myself and my sisters, and I loved them, you know. But I had a stepmother, you know, and she told me, oh, no, you're not going out, you ain't doing this, you ain't doing that. So I hated that, you know what I mean, with my stepmother, you know what I mean. And she was like, no, you ain't going out. I had a show at the Cotton Club one day. And my boy G-Man, you know, we was in a singing group back then, you know, and a limo was downstairs waiting for me. We was having a show at the Cotton Club. So as I'm about to leave, my stepmother was like, no, on the door, like, you ain't going nowhere, get in your room, you ain't gonna be no singer, you ain't doing nothing. And I started crying. I'm like, no, this is my passion. I gotta do this, you know what I mean? So I waited for her to sit on the couch and I ran out the house and I ain't turned back ever since, you know what I mean? So leaving at the age of 13, you know, I was in this big world by myself, not knowing what was going on, but I always had substance. My dad taught me how to be strong. I took karate classes. I was in boxing. I always been in school and everything like that. So I had a good head on my shoulders, you know what I mean? From my mother and my father, and my mother, she left, and my father was there to take care of myself and my sisters, you know, then it was just us. But then when I left, I was on my own in this big world, just exploring the land, you know what I mean? Just getting myself into everything and anything. So, you know, I'm gonna save the rest for my documentary so we all really understand why I do the things that I do and who I am. That's it, you know what I mean?
But you also gave the Biggie Smalls the Notorious name, I was told, as well.
Yes, I did that, you know what I mean? That's
rest in peace, Christopher Wallace.
Christopher Wallace, rest in peace. My good friend Biggie, you know, gave him the name the Notorious Big because, like I said, I was working at Uptown MCA at the time. Uptown. You know, and Biggie was working with Puffy, and, you know, actually he came to the office and he sat with me first because Mark Pitts brought him inside, you know, and he would say, yo, Mel, could Biggie sit in the office until I go finish chopping it up with Puff because we have a meeting. So I'll say, all right, cool. So at that time, my desk was where Biggie was sitting, and I got up and I sat in Kirk Burrell's seat. Like if I was the executive, Kirk went to the bathroom, you know what I mean? So while he's in the bathroom, I'm like, all right, he's sitting there in my seat, so I'm like, all right. So I'm sitting there, so Biggie didn't know who I was. You understand? So this is our introduction. You know what I mean? I already knew Mark Pitts from the parties that Puffy was throwing, and Heavy D was throwing at the time and everything, from the Supper Club and all these other places that we used to attend to. Because I was taping my TV show, Follow the Flavor, so I got to meet all these individuals there that became my friends, that everybody look at stars today. But for me, I just like, these are people that just like me and you, and I just know them. So as Biggie's sitting in front of me, I say, yo, family, rap, let me hear you. Where you going in there to meet up with Puffy for? So he was like, yo, I'm scared. Came in with a white t-shirt on, dripping pizza in his hand and everything like that, breathing hard. Like, yo, I'm scared to death, you know what I mean? So, you know, I said, let me hear you. So he started rapping, and as he started rapping and everything, you know, he reminded me of a pastor. And I said, of his rap. You know, he was rapping, and I could see everything that man was saying at the time. And I was like, wow, you dope, family. I said, what you scared of? You know what I mean? I said, when you go in there, you tell Puff that if he don't sign you, you're going to miss out. You know what I mean? Your confidence level got to be on the trillion. You got to turn all the way up. So he was like, word, this is what I got to do. I said, trust me. Go in there and tell him, you know what I mean? You the shit. That's your whole attitude.
Confidence brings success, y'all.
Confidence. You know what I mean? So he was like, all right, I'm going to take your advice. So I said, all right, family, good luck. He went inside the room, Kirk came out the bathroom and stuff, sat in his desk. I sat at my desk.
Right.
So now after that, Kirk, we was talking about the to-do list and things to do for the day at Uptown. So, you know, he was like, let's get some lunch, Mel. So I'm writing down, all right, what you want for lunch, this and that. Like I said, I'm an intern, so I gotta listen to my boss and what he's telling me and everything like that. Right. So I was like, all right. So I'm writing down what we gonna eat and everything like that. I went into the drawer, got the petty cash, and started counting the money, saying, all right, let me go get this lunch for us. Right. As I got up to go out, Biggie came in and he was like, yo, I got it, thank you. And grabbed me and picked me up. I'm like, oh, I can't breathe. You know what I mean? So we started laughing. So Kirk looked and he was like, what's that about? I was like, nothing. I just talked to him before he went in there to talk to Puff, and you know, he told me he got it. So good luck. So Biggie was like, yo, thank you. He was like, man, it worked. Thank you. So that was our introduction, me meeting Biggie Smalls for the first time and everything like that. So fast forward, I'm coming from school. I was in Julia Richmond at the time, Julia Richmond High School. And when I came in, Kirk Burroughs was like, listen, everybody's in the conference room right now. Yep. And we have to come up with a name for Biggie because he cannot use that name no more. Somebody else on the West Coast got that name, so we can't use it to put out this record. And, you know, go into the conference room and see if you can help them come up with something. So the people, just to paint the picture of everybody that was in the conference room, it was Sybil, she was Puffy's assistant. Okay. Jesse West, Third Eye. Q, Keisha from Total.
Was Craig Mack there or not?
Nah, Craig Mack wasn't there.
Okay, rest in peace.
Rest in peace to Craig Mack too. And you can catch me in Rolling Stone magazine for 30th anniversary for Craig Mack too. They just called me for that story too. So thank you, Rolling Stone magazine, for that. Yeah. All right. So after that, we in the conference room, and Kim Porter, you know, which rest in peace to Kim Porter also. You know what I mean? So we all in there, and you know, as colleagues, we in there laughing, joking around, you know what I mean, trying to come up with these names and everything. So then I went from sitting in the table with them to moving over and sitting in the space by myself, and I started praying. And you know, I'm always praying, having my conversations with God all the time. So, you know, as I'm praying, I said, God, please give me the name so I can come up with, you know, and this man, you know, he deserved a shot. You know, he's dope, he's funny, he's witty, and he can rap, you know what I mean? And I want to see this brother win right here. So please give one of us in this office, you know, the power to come up with a name that's going to bless this man. So, you know, as I'm sitting down, having a conversation with God, I'm writing down the name. So I'm like, okay, and I just so happened to find my hand just starting to write it out. No to our I. And I said, oh. So when I said, oh, everybody looked at me. What happened, Mel? I said, nothing. I'm just having a conversation with God right now. Nothing. You know what I mean? So I said, oh, us, Notorious. Wow. And I said, all right. So I wrote the saying down. And then I said, well, he's still big. I don't think that's going to change unless he want to get on a diet or something like that. So I'm like, all right. So I put B.I.G., you know what I mean? And I said, oh, that's dope right there. Notorious B.I.G. And I said, the meaning, no to our I. Oh, us. B.I.G. Big. Okay. So I said, I'm going to keep this name right here. Then I wrote two others and everything like that. So then I folded it up and I put my name on it, because what was told to us, don't put your name on it or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Just write the name down, fold it up, and throw it in the basket. Wow. So I thought, I'm like, don't put your name on it. That's what you talking about? I want to make sure that if I come up with the name, they're going to know who did it. You know what I understand? So I'm going to write my name. So I went against the rules and I wrote my name down. You know what I mean? Everybody put their names and they threw it in the basket. Kirk Burroughs came in, picked up the basket, walked out. Next thing you know, we still socializing, talking and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Just waiting to see what's going to happen, what was next. All of a sudden, Puffy walked in the room. He looked around the room at everybody. Then he walked up to me. Then he tapped me on the shoulder and said, good job, Mel Love. Wow. And I said, oh, okay. So then after that, he walked out the room. And then he started screaming at the top of his lungs, ah, we got it. We got it. We got one. We about to hit. Oh, my God. Then after that, that's when we came out with the single "Party and Bullshit" for Notorious B.I.G. Wow. You know, first single that was put out, you know what I mean? So when we came out with Party and Bullshit, we had to push the records and everything like that. So at that time, you know, taking it to the grassroots things, a lot of people don't know that myself, Super Mario, a lot of the street team, we had to go to these clubs, you know, putting up posters and flyers, and, you know, we taking it back to the this is how we started, you know. So going to the DJs, we giving the DJs the record and everything like that, saying, here, take this record and play it. You know how long it took for a DJ just to play the record, because they act like, oh, I don't know this record. Who's this artist, this and that. And I'm telling them, I'm like, yo, this is going to be the biggest artist right now. And I didn't leave that DJ booth until they played the record. And it took me all night. I didn't care. I was like, look, y'all going to play this record. So when they finally broke and played the record, and it was like almost time to go out the club, you know, they played the record finally. Oh, wow. So when they played it, it was like, oh shit, this shit is hot. All right, I got you, Mel Love. I'm gonna play it the next time and put this on my playlist and everything. So I always gave people 2 records so they can scratch and mix and do what they gotta do, you know. And then sometime I just give people 1 record and say, if you like it, then call me and I'll have you come down to the office and I'll have you pick up the record or I'll bring it to you in the club. So my strategy was give them the wrong record and then wait for them to call me at the office at Uptown. Okay. So it was a method to my madness, you know what I mean? Because I wanted a lot of people to know in the music industry that I was meeting that, yeah, I work at Uptown MCA, you know? So I was one of the persons that was answering the phone, and Kim Porter in the front as the secretary, and then she'll transfer the calls to whoever office is going to be. So every time the phone rung in the office, I used to pick it up and be like, Uptown MCA, follow the flavor, man, help you. So people was like, follow the flavor, what's that? That's my TV show, you know. So at the time, I didn't know what cross-promoting was. So this was something in my spirit, and it was telling me what to do. I'm following guidelines. Where God is showing me something, I'm just doing it. I didn't know at the time. I wasn't literate to the facts of how the industry was working. I was just there, and I'm living in the moment. So at that time, I had a lot of innovative ideas. I'm sitting down. Kirk Burroughs used to tell me, yo, come to my house and, you know, sit down and, you know, I'm writing down things and everything like that. Well, he's actually writing down things that he was asking me questions about, you know what I mean? So this is how a lot of my ideas was coming out, you know what I mean? So I appreciate that as well, you know what I mean? It was like a formula that I was just starting to pick up and see what was going on. Because the first time when I got at Uptown MCA, like I said, I was the intern, and they said, yo, you got to do dictation, pause. So I'm writing things down, and Kirk Burroughs was like, yo, you got to write everything down and everything like that. So I'm like, all right, I'm taking notes. So I'm in the meetings and I'm taking down the notes, jotting everything down. Then we go back to the office and everything. So that's how it first started. But then after that, when they ask me questions, remember, I'm the youngest one in Uptown at the time. So everybody is older than me. So if I'm in there and I'm at the meeting, I'm hearing it, and then I'll say something, you know what I mean? I'll speak up and be like, you know, my 2 cents, and I didn't know that they was really listening to my 2 cents, you know? So this is how my ideas started being developed and coming out. And you know, at first I was mad about the situation, but then I thought about it. I said, you know something, why be mad? I don't have the money for this shit right now. So, you know, why be mad? If Puffy's spending the money to put out these ideas and they working, then it's working. I just wish that he gave me my credit for the things that I did produce and the things and the people that I got out there and, you know, push that envelope, because I was a part of a lot of these artists' success, you know, being behind the scenes, but I never got my credit, my full credit where credit was due. And, you know, people like Kirk Burroughs will call me, you know, when Puffy was getting his Lifetime Achievement Award, and Kirk Burroughs called me on the phone and he was like, congratulations, Mel Love. And I was like, wow, for what? And he was like, because that's you. You the one that expired this to go on. It's you.
Wow.
That's supposed to be up there doing this. I said, nah, that's Puffy shit. You know what I mean? That's him, you know? And he was like, nah, Mel, you don't understand. I said, make me understand then.
Wow.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So when he talked to me about it, then I got it. I said, wow, okay. I see what you're talking about now. So, but at the same time, I feel everybody played their part and they did what they had to do. So I don't want to take nobody's credit away from nobody, because everybody had to play a major part. And if God put all of us in the same room at that time, and we had to work these records and we had to work these artists and put them on stage and put them out there and do the job that we was told to do, then we had to do it. You know, Puffy was on the front line and he had a vision. We went on the vision. I had ideas, Kirk Burroughs had ideas, everybody had ideas, you understand? At the same time, but if Puffy took his money out of his own pocket and he spent that money on the idea, then he picked the right idea, would it work? And that's why he is where he at right now and who he is, you know? So like I said, I don't take nobody's credit, you know, but I know for a fact that the things that I did and the ideas that came from my brain that God gave me, you know, it's stamped, you know. I have my receipts, you know. I've been around all these artists and they know who I am, you know, and I appreciate all of them, you know. It was a time, the Warlocks, that's who they was called, the Warlocks. The Locks. The Locks. Big shout out to the Locks, you know. They was called the Warlocks back then. But I was a part of that whole situation as far as switching that name to just cut it and leave the war out of it and just keep it as the Locks. You understand? So at the end of the day, these are the names. You understand where this come from? The young Mel Love. You understand? Because they asked me, yo, what you think about this? You know, so being a part of, you know, these people's movements and believing in them, it was a time where, you know, I was in the background. Like I said, it was between the Warlocks and Mo Money and Genovese, you know, that was going to get signed. Now I love Genovese and Mo Money from Harlem and everything like that, but the consistency wasn't like the Locks. You understand? Plus Mary J. Blige was the one that brung the Locks to us. So at the end of the day, big shout outs to Mary J. Blige, my Capricorn sister. Happy birthday. All right. So, you know, at the end of the day, big shout outs to Yonkers, you know what I mean? Yo, I appreciate y'all. So, you know, every time I see Jada Kiss, he always give me a hug, dap, show me love, you know what I mean? That's family. All of them is family for life, because I work with these people and I work their records. I'm the one that was standing there, hand and foot, just talking to the DJs, you gotta play this record. So if it wasn't for people like myself, Super Mario, and the rest of the street team, these records wouldn't be out there being played. So, you know, this is where I've been talking about, where the artists gotta realize who was the people behind the scenes, behind your career, that was pushing y'all, you know, and I was one of those people. So y'all gotta acknowledge that, you know.
About the King of New York, you came up with that too as well, right?
The King of New York, I came up with the King of New York because one day I was going into the club, you know, and I gave the King of New York to Biggie Smalls, right? And this is before Biggie even was the King of New York. Nobody took that high score down yet, you know, so I put the high score up, naming him the Notorious B.I.G, the King of New York, and it still stands to this day. Nobody took that down yet, so salute to Christopher Wallace for believing in me and taking the name Notorious B.I.G, the King of New York, that I gave him. But how I came up with the King of New York, me and my friend G-Man, we was hitting all the clubs, club hopping and everything like that at the time. And we was in a singing group, like I said. I was singing back then and rapping, so I was a singing rapper, you know? So at the end of the day, we walking in the club, and as we walk in the club, like I said, I knew the guards and everything, so it was easy for me, oh, what's up, Mel Love, and just walk in. So I'm good, you know, and anybody that was with me. So Biggie was outside and he was like, yo, Mel Love, they ain't let me in. So I turned around and I said, oh, come in. So he came and I said, who you with? He was like, oh, I got little C's, I got this and that. I was like, wow.
Shout out to C's.
You know what I mean? Big shout outs to little C's, you know what I mean? So Junior Mafia, big shout outs. So he was with all of them, plus a couple of other people from Brooklyn. So I told the guard, I said, yo, you know who he is? This is Biggie Smalls right here. This is the king of New York. You're gonna be playing his records, and you're gonna be mad that you didn't let this brother in. You know what I mean? I'm trying to tell you, the king of New York right here. So he looked at me, he was like, I believe you, Mel Love. How many people you got with you? I said, all of them. Yeah, so that night, Biggie was like, yo, Mel Love, thank you. You know what I mean? So that's the second time. Mind you, this is keep on moving. You understand? So big shout outs to Brooklyn. You know what I mean? So this is the second time that I was able to assist Biggie Smalls into somebody that was holding him back from getting inside, and I got him inside the club. You understand? So that's how the King of New York came about. So right there. So when I got to the office and I gave him the Notorious B.I.G. and I label everything now, the Notorious B.I.G., the King of New York, these is how these incidents happen. You know what I mean? So that's how that happened. So, you know, basically dealing with the industry and all these people that I've been working with, you know, I'm excited that I'm still living, you know what I mean? Because like I said, I left my house at 13 and January 18th, I'll be 50 years old. I might not look it, you know what I mean? I'm just starting to grow gray hairs. You know what I mean? But God bless me to still be here, and I appreciate everybody for being supportive and understand. And I love my haters. Thank you. I love all my haters, for real. Because if you don't have no haters, you ain't doing nothing out. You know what I mean?
So the name Brother Love, that came from you then?
I'm Mel Love, Link the Link, the movement you want to move. So at the end of the day, where else is coming from? You know what I mean? But not to be no disrespectful or throw shade on nobody or nothing like that. I look at it like this. You got people out here that's artists, and they look for names. They look for somebody to look up to. They look for what this person stands for. So I pay homage for Puffy to even pick my name, Love. Just to put it out there, because he's seen I worked for him. I did a lot of things. I was managing Black Rob, G-Dep,
the deputy.
I managed Ernesto Velasquez at Uptown MCA. He came out with the single Personality. Andre Harrell gave me a chance to manage him. So, you know, these are people that, you know, I've been working with. Aaron Hall, you know what I mean, from God. You know what I mean? Street from Black Street, you know what I mean? Dealing with all these people. When I was dealing with Street from Black Street, I was at Club Speed. You know, on my 21st birthday, and Aaliyah, she came in and
rest in peace, Aaliyah.
Rest in peace to Aaliyah. She bought me a red jacket, long jacket. She came in with Q-Tip, you know, but when Q-Tip seen me, that really, you know, I know he was kind of nervous back then because an incident happened with Q-Tip and Tupac. Now, Tupac was my friend too, because Biggie and Tupac, we were all friends. Stretch, Big Psych, all of us. You understand? So,
Big Psych,
I got pictures to show and prove. Like I said, I got receipts. You know what I mean? DJ SNS, Kid Capri, Ron G, Lovebug Starsky, Bismarcky, Alamo, you know what I mean? Got pictures, you understand, in front of 125th Street, Mark 125th, you know what I mean, when that was open, you understand? So me, I did a lot of innovative things, and like I said, I was just doing what I thought was the job that I was doing. These people were my friends, so I never looked at nobody as stars or nothing like that, but I knew that they had something, they had great music, and I know that I was a part of helping each one of them get to their success where they at right now. You know, so at the end of the day, you know, I just been living my life, you know, doing what I got to do out here, you know? Like when I used to go out to Louisiana, I used to co-manage this artist by the name of Mr. Marcello. What's going on, Mr. Marcello? From 504 Boys. You know, we did some work at the BET Black Carpet at the 4040 Lounge and a couple of other things. He had a single at the time that I was pushing, that I was trying to get Jim Jones a part of it, but he told me he didn't want to be on it. So I'm like, yo, you miss your window. But they still got to work with Master P and everything like that, you know what I mean? So that was still a blessing as well. But I definitely wanted him to be on that Pimp Walk song because it was good at that time, you know, to be a part of it. But other than that, like going back to Biggie, you know, these are the things that I did for Biggie So taking them to TVT Records or Land Speed Records,
which is
Koch now.
Which is not Koch no more.
Oh yeah, they switched it.
E1.
Right.
E1 became RNBK.
Right.
Yeah.
But taking it back, we was at Land Speed Records. You understand?
That's
So
Duke the Garden guys.
Duke the God.
Over there.
I told Duke the God and them because me and Duke the God used to go to school together at Julia Richmond as well. And I told him, I said, yo, Black Rob and Depp, I'm trying to do this compilation with them called Black and Depper.
Oh wow.
You understand? So that would have been a good CD, and the ideas came from me sitting down with Black Rob and Phil Kaiser, Filthy New York, you know. We was sitting down and we was talking about these things, you know what I mean? So I said, you know something, let me go downtown and see if I can make this work. You know, so I went into Land Speed Records and I got Phil Kaiser a double single deal when I was managing him. I was working with Phil Kaiser first, and then it was Phil Kaiser and Starsky. So, but they got locked up, so that deal got crushed, and I had to wait for my family to come out of jail so we can continue on moving. But the only thing that we did was when Bill Cosby gave me some money, and he believed in me and Drew Hill, and he was like, yo, Mel Love, I would like to work with you and Drew Hill, so you know, here's some money, go develop your project. And that's when I was working with my girl group Protege and Phil Kaiser. Protege, that was my female girl group at the time, and I had Phil Kaiser and Starsky, and I was working with them for my projects, Jefferson projects, you know. But they got locked up, so that project fell through. And then Protege, you know, we worked on a song which was a hit back then, and then they split up. I didn't understand the reason why they split up, but I put in a lot of work with them, and I wish that they were still together to this day, because them women would have went far, because I really believed in them. And we did a couple of shows that even Miss Jones, thank you Miss Jones, she seen something in us as well, and she said, Mel Love, I like what y'all doing, could y'all perform with me in Jersey? So we did like, I think 2 or 3 shows that Miss Jones put us on, and she paid us. So thank you Miss Jones for opening up that lane for us and everything. And I need to get back up with you too, because now I'm still out here working, and me and Depp is doing what we doing. So I think it's time to link back up so we can get back on that circuit. But you know, thank you for that. But with Biggie, one day we was having a conversation, and he was like, yo, Mel, you really helped me out, and I'm forever indebted to you. You know what I mean? I was like, nah, family, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? We started joking, you know? So he was like, yo, what could I do to help you out now? You know? So I said, oh, family, for real? So I said, yeah, I got something for you. I gave him a tape. And the tape that I gave him, I said, yo, sign Cameron. Killer Cam? Killer Cam. KFC? I say, sign Cameron. Wow. You understand? And the reason why I say that is because, you know, I don't like bringing up this, you know what I mean? But I have to make y'all understand who I am, where I come from, and for y'all to connect the dots and why these people are on today, and why I was a part of them getting on. But these people don't know. So I think it's truth, and truth is now, and the truth has to come out, you know, because I've been hearing so many falsified stories, and I'm like, wow, and none of these people said Mel Love linked the link, thank you, or nothing like that. Now, Biggie was alive, he would have shut y'all all down and been like, yo, stop lying, you know what I mean, tell the truth. Mel Love was the one that helped me, and he helped y'all too, you know. So when Biggie said, yo, I'm forever in debt with you, Mel Love, what could I do to help you? I said, yeah, here, take this tape. It was called Children of the Corn, which was my cousin Big L. A lot of people didn't know that. Lamont Coleman. My name is Melvin Coleman. All right, Lamont Coleman. So I used to take him down. Thank you, Maria Davis, Club SOs, and all that. Maria Davis still my friend to this day. We do a lot of stuff together, you know what I mean? So y'all check out Maria Davis' platform too at the Shrine. She's the dopest promoter since back then to now. You understand? So y'all go check her out, Maria Davis. So I gave Biggie Smalls the tape, and when I gave him the tape, he was like, what's this? I said, sign Cameron. And the reason why I told him to sign Cameron, because one day I was walking through my projects, Jefferson, basketball court, and I didn't know what was going on, but only thing I seen, pow, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And I seen, you know, I don't like to say this because I'm not throwing shade on nobody or nothing like that, but seen one of my friends smack Mace, you know what I mean? And you know, this is just true stories, you know, so people know what time it is, Jefferson Projects, you know what I mean? So I'm walking through the hood and I seen pow, you know what I mean? So when I seen that, I'm like, oh shit, you know what I mean? What the fuck going on here? So for me, I said, I don't like what I seen, you know what I mean? So I'm like, nah, these boys is talented, you know what I mean? They can play basketball and they can rap. They could make it either way, to the NBA or rapping, you know? So when Biggie asked me that, I could have said easily, you know, put me on. You know what I mean? I sing, I rap, I do all this stuff. Let's get on this record, this and that, which I have one record with Biggie that I will put on my album so people will see what's going on too. You know what I mean? So a lot of things I got in the stash. Me, Michael Jackson, all that. You know what I mean? For real. You know what I mean?
All right.
So at the same time, when Biggie told me that, I said, all right, take this tape. So I gave him the tape, Children of the Corn and everything. He listened to it. He hit me back, was like, yo, Mel, listen, I'm doing the record company with Unveils. That's my partner, entertainment. You know what I mean? So, you know, they was doing the record company and the clothing company, which was Junior Mint. So this is how I know these things, because the conversations that I was having with Biggie. And this is what he's telling me. So I'm like, all right, no problem, family. So after that, when I told him to sign Cameron, he said, I got you, Mel. He was like, I got people in mind right now. I'm dealing with this other chick, you know what I mean, out of town right now, Charlie Baltimore, you know what I mean? So she's coming up. I want you to meet her and everything like that. So I got to meet Charlie Baltimore back then. So when I gave him the tape, I said, all right, you know, Cameron, he's dope. You know what I mean? I said, you're going to love the way he rap and everything like that. So after that situation happened, I bumped into Cameron. You know what I mean? But I didn't want to let Cameron know what I was doing behind the scenes and stuff like that. I don't know what they call clout chasing now and stuff like that. I'm not doing none of that. I'm just a realist. You understand? And I seen that Cameron was putting a lot of work out here and putting out his mixtapes and stuff like that. That's why I told Duke the God to go to Land Speed and do I told him, I said, go over there and do the CD thing. You know what I mean? At that time, we was getting like 5,000 for a CD and shit. You know what I mean? Like just to do the deal. You know what I mean? So I don't know what they got, you know what I mean? But that's what I was doing when I was going down there trying to hook my people up. Side deals that I was doing away from Bad Boy just to keep money in our pocket to do what we got to do. Every time Biggie was like, yo, Mel, I need to get some money, this and that. So besides him, and y'all keep on hearing all these falsified stories with him going to the Brooklyn and hustling and all that stuff, it was me taking him to these record companies and bringing him where he need to go get real money. You understand? Where we was bumping into my peoples at TVT Records, Mike Geronimo, big shout outs to Mike Geronimo. You know what I mean? We used to be in the Tunnel nightclub, and anybody that used to be in the Tunnel know how the Tunnel used to be. We used to off the chain, and if you ain't about that life, don't even step in the Tunnel. I used to walk up to the Tunnel, and my boy Paul was and Jessica and damn, what's his name? It was a couple of them, but when they see me step up, yo, Mel Love, go ahead, go inside. Or they be like, you gotta wait right now, hold on for a minute, let me get these people out the way, and I got you, Mel Love. So I go inside, you know what I mean? The Tunnel, and the Tunnel was rocking back then, you know what I mean? So about Cameron, he listened, he called me back, and he was like, yeah, I love this, you know what I mean? Mel, I got you, don't worry about it. So like I said, I bumped into Cameron on 125th Street, and at that time, when I bumped into Cameron, I wanted to talk to him, but he was going through his situation, and the situation was, do y'all remember when Cameron put the NBA sign up with the gun on the side instead of the basketball?
My principal blocked it. Recipe Land to Go. We blocked that.
Right. So this is what happened. When I ran into Cameron back then, I said, look, I said, Cameron, I like what you're doing out there. You dope. Keep on moving forward. I got something for you. And he looked at me and he said, huh? But I know he was going through his situation because it was cops around and they was taking that big ass billboard down. And I was like, what happened? He was like, yo, they telling me that I can't keep the symbol up there because it's the NBA and I got to take it down or they're going to sue me. So I was like, don't worry about it, family. I got something in store for you. But he looked at me like I was crazy and was like, huh? So I was like, don't worry about it. Keep on doing what you're doing. So I left. I had to go to work. I'm going down to Uptown MCA. So now, me and Biggie, he was there because Biggie, I told my boys to meet me downtown. It was Hashim and Stevie, which is my brother-in-law. You know what I mean? So we was doing, I was helping Hashim out, which is Stereo H. You understand? Those who know his music, then y'all look up Stereo H. He'll tell you his stories and everything like that. Y'all could do interviews on him. But at the time, I brought him to the studio and we was with Egghead. So big shout outs to Egghead at 59th Roosevelt Island, you know what I mean? And I took them to the studio. So we was getting ready, prepared for Maria Davis at Club Esso show. All right. So this is what I'm trying to tell you, the timeline and do the knowledge to connecting the dots. You know what I mean? So we left from Cameron. I'm seeing the big poster billboard come down from the NBA that they couldn't keep up there with the gun on the side. They switched the basketball to a gun. He had to take it down. You understand? I told Cameron, keep on going. Don't worry about that. You know what I mean?
It was on 24th Linux.
Yeah. So from there, I'm going downtown. I told my peoples, Hashim and them, to meet me. You know what I mean? So we go in the studio. From the studio, then I told them I'm gonna take y'all to Uptown because they was like, yo Mel, why you can't take us to Puff? Get us a deal with Puff. So I was like, listen, I'll take you down there, but it's up to Puff to give y'all the deal. You understand? So as I brung them down to the office, we sitting in the conference room and Puffy's playing the song. The song was only on for probably like about 3 seconds, so 3 minutes. Biggie come kicking the door. Boom! I need my money now. This and that.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So that kind of destroyed.
Wow.
That kind of destroyed and messed up. They meeting. You understand? So Puff was like, yo, I gotta go take care. My artist right now. I'm sorry. Maybe we can do this meeting another time. You know what I mean? So they got to understand how the music industry worked, how Biggie was when he stepped into place. You know what I mean? And what was going on at that time. You know what I mean? So I apologize for that situation that we couldn't continue on the meeting. You know what I mean? But Stereo H is doing this thing right now. So y'all go to his page and check out Stereo H and his music. You know what I mean? Big shout outs to Steve, but like I said, an Egghead, so from there, I told him, I said, don't worry about it. We going downtown to Maria Davis. So I went and picked up Big L. It was, and we went down to Club Esso's, Stevie, and we had Hashim. We opened up. Now, as we doing the show, this is the same time Rockefeller popping. Rockefeller had their table on the side and everything like that. Same time when they cursed Maria Davis out and everything like that while she was talking. Because you know how Maria Davis, she'll talk and pass a basket around and stuff like that. So by doing that, you know what I mean, Maria Davis got to land on Jay-Z's album, you know what I mean? And you'll hear the intro with Maria Davis. I was there for that, you know what I mean? These are all real life stories. Big L performed. We opened up for all of them. We opened up for Jay-Z. Jay-Z was able to perform and everything like that. But like I said, I was helping Stereo H and them get on for that show so they can do what they got to do at that time. Fast forward from all that now, going back to the Cameron situation. So, when Biggie was like, yo, I got you, Mel, this and that. So I'm just tell you the story that I told you, the lineup and all the interactions that was going on at that time. So now finally, we get to the Biggie Smalls situation when he tell me, I like Cameron, I'm gonna hook him up with Charlie Baltimore, this and that. And then he was telling me, yo, Cam can write, right? I said, yeah, that's all his shit right there, you know what I mean? So he was like, all right, that'll take some stress off of me from writing everything and everything like that, you know what I mean? Because Biggie was writing a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? So I'll say, Cam is dope like that. So that's why Cam was helping with the situation with Charlie Baltimore situation, you know what I mean? And everybody else that he was doing his thing, you know what I mean? So at the same time, you know, Cameron had his record release party under entertainment.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So now Cam is signed and everything. So, you know, they invited me to come and everything like that, which was they had me on a list and everything like that. So I went to the listening party, you know, so I see Cam up there, you know what I mean, and I got a picture of me and Cam. We took a picture that day, so I have proof of that. I whispered in Cam's ear.
Confession of Fire album then.
Yeah. So I told Cam like this. I said, yo, family, you made it. And keep on doing what you got to do. I told you I got you, family. Then he looked at me like I was crazy again. Like, huh? What are you talking about? Because I never explained to him that I'm the one that gave your tape to Biggie for Biggie to sign you.
Wow.
You understand? So when I'm telling you these little things, telling you, keep on going. When I seen the poster come down, you know,
Forrest Drug Entertainment album.
Right. I seen the poster come down, and I told you, don't worry about that shit. Yeah. You doing the right thing. Keep on moving forward. Keep on doing what you do. I got you. That was one. Then when after the listening party, I told you again, I got you. Don't worry about it. You on now. Don't worry. You good. But his situation in Unveils, it didn't happen, you know, the way he wanted it to. I understand, because everybody wanted everything to come out the way Biggie wanted it. You understand? And Cameron was a different monster, a different artist, you know, and I seen that from young, because I'm Jefferson Prodigy. He used to hang out with us all through Jefferson, you know what I mean? Like I said, I was in the background, I always stay quiet, I walk through.
That's where the word pause comes from.
Yeah, pause, Jefferson,
and
from
no
us.
well.
You understand? All that came from us. You understand? So at the end of the day, we are trendsetters. You understand? So this is where that timeline comes. So when I hear stuff like, oh, Mace got me on and he did this, he did that, I'm like, oh God, I gotta speak my truth, because if I don't speak my truth, like my family, and I have people around me that bear witness to what was going on at that time. And each time that I was at these parties and at these different places, I always keep somebody with me, you know, so they can bear witness to the things that's going on. You know, so now we have new technology. Now I can do live stuff. So now you can see everything that's going on around me, you know. But, you know, like I said, I have pictures with me and Cam. We took a picture and I whispered in his ear and told him, you know, pause. I told him, I say, yo, family, you know, you on now, you gonna make it, you know what I mean? And this is what it is. So like I say, he looked at me like I was crazy again. I ain't say nothing. I was just happy for him, because I'm like, damn, he's gonna get out the hood and he's gonna make it to be a great artist, because that's what I seen ahead of time. I knew he was dope, you know what I mean? So like I said, I'm not trying to take all his credit or nothing like that, but I'm the one responsible behind the scenes that was pushing the envelope for you to win out here, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you know, I felt in my heart that it was time for me to do something that was righteous, that will help you along the way, even though you were still coming back to Jefferson, hanging out and everything like that. That's all love and mad respect to that. Big shout outs to Loose Legends, Rock City-O, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm just telling real stories, you know what I mean, with real individuals, and these are my brothers to this day, you know what I mean? I love all of them, you know what I mean? So like I said, my stories is not to throw shade on anybody. It is just to bring light to the situation, to tell the truth and put things in perspective, so y'all can see the timeline and when different things happen and how these individuals start moving forward, getting a lot of things done.
You helped me with the Black Rock Cold Street renaming on the 15th Street and First Avenue.
Now I appreciate you for that. You know what I mean?
This is a true story. This
at
is
the end of the day, you know,
I put together a petition.
C-Styles called me.
Robert Phil Jackson,
C-Styles called me. And he was like, yo, Mel Love, you know, I'm sorry about Black Rob passing and everything like that. And this is his idea. You understand? Not my idea, but I took the ball and I ran with it and I made it happen because of Robert Phil Jackson, my brother that I'm sitting next to. You know, he called me and he was like, yo, Mel Love, I apologize, Black Rob is no longer with us right now, but I got this idea. Do you want to put up Black Rob street sign? And the bulb hit me. I was like, wow, yeah, let's move on it. How can I make this happen? Or how could we do this?
Yeah.
So then he was like, yo, I'm plugged in with the senators and everything like that, and I'm gonna start a petition. So, you know, we just need signatures. So I was like, I bet. So he took it upon himself and did the paperwork, shot it over to me, and I signed off on it. And I said, all right, family, let's make it happen. So night and day, we was on the phone talking to everybody. He'll call me and he'd be like, yo, Mel, call this person, call this person, call this person. So many numbers I'm calling like, yo, listen, we need to put up Black Rob street sign, this and that. And I'm telling them so they hearing the passion and my voice and where my heart is at and where his heart is at. And they was like, yo, we got you, no problem. Come down to the office, come meet up with me, this and that. So I was taking all the meetings. I'm going down there. I call them and let them know like, yo, I got a meeting with Senator such and such. I got to go over here and I got to go get the permits and I got to go do that.
Yella, thank you very much.
Thank you.
District number 8.
District number 8. Thank you. I still need your help now so I can put up my sister, Dr. LaTanya Coleman's street sign. I need to put that up on 111th and 5th Avenue at her school.
I know Nina Saxon said she would help you.
Yeah, she said we already talked, we spoke and everything like that. So I just need to finish the paperwork. And when I come back from the first leg of the Royal Love Tour, then I want to get on it so I can get my sister's street sign up there. Dr. LaTanya D. Coleman. Got to see it up there on 111th Street. So salute to everybody. Miss my sister, you know, and Cancer. When I see you, man.
But my mother for that.
Right.
My mom's.
So
heartbreaking disease, man. But also got the Black Rob Day too.
Black Rob, we got Black Rob Day every June 8th or June 15th. It depends on where that Saturday land from Black Rob's birthday on June 8th. June 8th is always the Puerto Rican Day Parade, so I don't want to mix up the Puerto Rican Day Parade with Black Rob Day, so we'll wait till after any Puerto Rican Day Parade, and then we'll do it after, you know what I mean? Big shout outs to Little Rob, which is Black Rob's son. Big shout outs to Chris Murray, you know what I mean? They called me this year and they said, yo, Mel Love, you know, we need to do the Black Rob Day again. I was sick in the hospital. I couldn't walk or nothing like that. Trust me, I was going through it. I was almost out of here. Hemoglobin levels went all the way down to 5.0. Pastor came in, read me my last rites and everything. So that's how much far gone I was almost out of here. But God blessed me to still be here. And I prayed and I just said, God, when I get out this bed, I'm going to do everything and keep on going and do what I'm supposed to do out here. And I can't stop. And I just gotta tell the truth to everybody and what's going on out here to keep the legacy going. So, and this is the reason why I'm out here. Big shout outs to Gigi. Thank you. Thank you, Josh B. Thank you, Mr. Stash, Mad Dad, for staying with me in the hospital and not allowing the doctors to just feed me all these drugs they was feeding me. Stuff that was powerful, more powerful than morphine, where, you know, it was just crazy. I was just going through it. But God still blessed me to be here. Like I said, I'll be 50 January 18th on my birthday Saturday.
Shout out to Vic Law too.
You know, shout outs to Vic. I was going to get into that. You know what I mean? We got a lot of stuff going on. You know what I mean? But like I said, you know, the Black Rob street sign is up. We work hard on that.
115 First Avenue.
115th Street and First Avenue. Robert Black Rob Rossway. So everybody, if you in the town, go to 115th Street and First Avenue and go to Robert Black Rob Rossway. All right, and just take your pictures and show love. You know what I mean? Because Black Rob, you know, he worked hard. He put out a lot of great records out there, and you know, a lot of people, you know, I didn't really see a lot of people in the industry, you know, really shouting out Black Rob when he passed and everything like that. I didn't see no award shows to represent, you know, his legacy. No tribute or nothing. And I thought it was going to come through. I thought it was going to come through Puff and everything like that when he was giving his acceptance speech. I thought it was going to be something big for Rob, but I ain't see nothing but all what Puffy wanted to do. So, hey, that was Puffy's moment, so I'm not going to take nothing away. But to keep it real, I appreciate Puffy for paying for the funeral, paying for the hotel room. Big shout outs to Kyle Dawson, too.
Kyle Dawson, man, what up?
Kyle Dawson, you know, like I told you when we met, And I told you, I said it's a blessing, brother. Keep on moving forward, doing what you do, because you putting out your own money to keep Black Rob's legacy together. So keep on doing what you do, family. There's no ill will here with nothing. It's all love coming my way. If you ever want to call me and talk, you got my number. Just call and talk. That's it. Let's pick up, and it's about moving forward. It's about building relationships up and building these bridges. Now, I can swim, so I don't mind, you know, anything out here. Anything with people, understand this. I've been in the background. I've been humble. I listen to all the shit talking that people put on my name, all that. Remember, like I said, I can swim, for real, family, so I don't mind burning no bridges, because I burn that shit down fast. You understand? But at the same time, I'm humble. And it's about building a foundation. It's about keeping the structure going. It's about uplifting us as people. It's about sticking together and showing more love and substance. We already know what hate do already. So if y'all want to be about hate, stay the fuck on that side. And I ain't even gonna say excuse my French. Like I said, stay the fuck on that side. If y'all about that negativity, it's about love and substance. It's about living. Cause I don't know nobody that came back from death yet and told me it was good on that side. Do you?
No.
Do y'all? Y'all know anybody that came back from death yet?
Jesus.
Huh? Nah, I mean personal experience.
Oh, besides
listen,
Jesus, no.
I believe in God, I believe in Jesus and all that.
Well, personal experience.
But personally, I don't know him like I could shake this man's hand and say, yo, this is my brother, you my brother, you my brother, my sisters, all that. You understand? I don't know nobody that came back from death yet and told me it was good on that side. So until then,
hold on, dude.
We're gonna push life and love and substance. That's what we pushing out here. All that trying to become a martyr and be on somebody's t-shirt or be on a wall because you want to shoot your neighbor, you want to shoot the person that you don't like. Come on, you killing us. Look in the mirror, family. We need y'all. Y'all soldiers out here. We need y'all. If y'all really that tough, why y'all ain't doing nothing when the cops pull your ass over and beating your ass down and choking you and killing us out here? Why y'all not doing shit like that? If y'all that goddamn tough, on some real shit. Nobody is speaking how I'm speaking out here. I'm tired of seeing the bullshit. I love y'all. So me loving y'all, I don't want to see no more of my people dying out here. I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of my heart breaking every time I see the next person getting choked out or something happening to y'all. How many times we gonna keep on walking and just walk and walk? My fucking feet is hurting. I don't want to walk no more. It's about either we gonna do something about it or not. That's it, point blank. What happened to all our good leaders? Where the fuck y'all at? Where y'all at?
We right here.
This is what we doing right now. We leading our people to the promised land. We doing what we got to do out here to move forward. And I understand what y'all did to Christ. I understand what y'all did to Malcolm X. What y'all did to Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King. I understand that theory that y'all on. But trust me, family, it ain't happening no more. So I look at it like this, you know. I gave Biggie Smalls his name. Puffy, you understand? He got the name Diddy from me and Biggie just having fun, joking around. And Biggie was like, yo, watch this, Mel Love. And he was like, yo, Diddy. You understand?
No, I'm joking.
Nah. But listen, this is where this come from. This come from a video game.
I know
the Donkey Kong. Because we used to go down to 42nd Street when they used to have the arcade games down there. A lot of people don't know that. My age, where I come from, this is where we used to hang out at. You understand? No, before Barcode, because I was one of the biggest promoters at Barcode too, on 42nd Street. That's how I got to meet my good friends that play for the Mets. That's how I got to meet my good brother Charles Stackhouse that used to play for the New York Giants. You understand what I'm saying? When I was throwing my parties at Barcode. But before that, there was 42nd Street, family, where they had all the strips The strippers that used to put a coin in and the shit used to come up and they used to be dancing and stuff like that. You know what I mean? The peep shows and all that. You know, big shout outs to Ultramagnetic MCs, Cool Keith that used to bring me down there. You know what I mean? And be like, yo, Mel, come on, let's go chill over here. So I know a lot of people out here. Big shout outs to LL Cool J.
The legend.
Thank you. You understand? He gave me my first deal when I was 16 years old. You understand? For my cousin's group, Smooth Appeal from Harlem. You understand? Big shout out to everybody in Smooth Appeal. Thank you. Chris Lightly. Thank you.
Rest in peace.
You understand? Rest in peace. Big shout outs to Big Meech. You understand?
Welcome home, family.
Welcome home. You understand what I'm saying? I hung out with these people. I'm the one that got Puffy and Big Meech and introduced them. You know what I mean? Big shout outs to all of them. Black, Luke Da Vinci. I don't know nobody's story. I don't give a fuck about none of that. You understand? That's y'all business. That's your problem. But I know who was good to me. I know who was good and said, yo, Mel Love, come rock with me. I'm in Texas right now. Bring G-Dep. Come over here. So I'm on the road and I'm driving out there. You know what I mean? Night and day, not sleeping. I get there and they show me nothing but love. Thank you, Big Meech. Thank you. I appreciate y'all for that. Also, I like to thank family. Oh, wow. He used to put me on shows. You understand? He used to pick up and call me from jail. And he used to be like, yo, Mel Love, I have an idea. Could you get Joel Santana, you and Depp, and go to Boston? So thank you. All right, thank you. And you know who that man is?
Larry Hoover.
Larry Hoover. You understand? So y'all say, listen, y'all act like I don't know these people. I really know these people. Ask them. I'm your favorite rapper's rapper. For real. You understand? I helped a lot of them, you know, scrap stuff out too. You understand what I'm saying? Yo, Rampage, what's good, family? Come on. Like I try to, you know, I've been calm, been cordial, and I've been trying to stay in the background and not say nothing. I call people like, yo, family, what's up? Let's go do this, let's go do that. But some of y'all dudes are suckers on some real shit, you know what I mean? And I'm just keeping it real with y'all. You know, this is the rawest interview that you ever gonna see from Mel Love Link to Link. And the reason why I'm doing that, because the truth must come out. That's it. Fuck all that bullshit. I'm not scared of none of y'all, and I'm not trying to act like I'm big tough, big bad wolf or nothing like that, but I can handle myself. I ain't worried about that. And like I said, I can swim. At the end of the day, I'm not scared of nobody out here. Y'all just like me. We bleed together, but I'm not talking about bleeding or nothing like that. I want everybody to fucking be accountable for your own actions and get your shit together. I want y'all to go out there and stop putting out this fucking hate music and put this music back in order and have people get back on the dance floor. I want to hear people dancing. I want to see that happening. Come on. Well, we got to keep on going through all that killing and stuff like that. I'm not trying to knock nobody from their craft. Get your money, family, because you are feeding families out there. Get your money how you got to get your money. But now it's about being accountable for your actions and doing something of love and substance. You already know what that shit did already. You know what it do. I want everybody to start putting God in your lyrics again. Start talking about God. God first with everything that you do. Because he's the maker, the creator of all this. So if it wasn't for God, none of us will be here.
That's facts.
None of us.
That's facts.
So what are y'all doing out here? Y'all gonna keep on being on that side, or you gonna get on this side right here? This is the best side. You think Puffy a billionaire and stuff like that? Link to link, the movement you wanna move with. Trillionaire life, family. Let's move, family.
Harlem, let's go.
Let's do it. Harlem, we back. That's it. We on the road right now. The Royal Love Tour. Y'all go out there and go get your tickets right now. We're gonna give y'all experience of your lifetime. We out here. We outside, family, and we ain't gonna let nothing stop us no more. Anybody that's an artist out there that y'all want to be a part of the movement you want to move with, come on, let's go. And this is Mel Love, Link to Link, the movement you want to move with, and you watching Posse TV, and I appreciate y'all, you know what I mean? Having one of the founders who started this music and started this TV land stuff, you know what I mean? Because if it wasn't for Follow the Flavor coming out here and doing what we doing, then y'all wouldn't have no podcasts out there. So some of your podcasters need to pay homage to Follow the Flavor and let y'all know where this shit come from. Because I gave y'all blueprint. Jay-Z wasn't the only one with the blueprint, my nigga.
Hey, say
My
that.
sisters, my kings, my queens, my people.
Oh yeah.
Come on, this is innovative right here. This is a light from God. And every time I show up, I'm going to show you God's light. That's it.
Yeah,
Let's go.
yeah.
Let's talk more action. Let's get it.
Let's
Come
talk
on.
some action, y'all.
That's what's up. So what happened today, bro?
We did a hot interview for those who don't know. He told his truth to the world. We had Mel Love on the show and OnStar as well.
Shout out to OnStar.
Yes.
Yeah. So how you linked up with these brothers, man?
Well, I know Mel Love for a long time, over 15 years.
Salute to Mel Love.
OnStar just met him 3 months ago. We kept in touch. I texted him, he texted me back, and I said, come through. POSSETV.com exclusive, y'all.
Absolutely. We gotta get to that. We got Mel over here. You know what he do? Always working hard.
Hold on for a minute.
Doing that damn dizzle.
Yo. Everybody talking about they innocent, but I'm Gucci, guilty. Get the scent? Was more your law by the citizen. I'm from the underworld and I'm just visiting. It's a cold, cold world that we living in. Can't live without it, so just live with it. I spread love, I don't care about the dividends. Throwing double L's, but my name ain't Mr. Smith. So recognize a boss when you see him one. You know what it's hitting for like 3 and 1. I've been on my grown man, you was being young. You don't even know why you mad like Vietnam, so here's a thought. Cause I'm like a paradox. I done did it all, now I'm maxing at the top, sharing stock, obscene carrot watch. Some of them are wondering if I'm a millionaire or not. Famous like a Hawthorne, I done had them following the flavor, got my talk on, left a footprint on any beat I walked on. Gave away some ideas, now I got some more songs. Born in the USA, my China made in Hong Kong. Now dinner served, and ain't a main course, but I ain't in the birds. Even got double crossed, but you live and learn. Pay the retainer, so I stay away from prison terms. This smell love, now you live and learn. Chill. Anybody that wanna holler at me, you know what I mean? Let's work, let's do some business. Instagram, Mel Love, link the link, or Big Puff Love. Or you can hit me up at Link the Link, LLC, the #1 at gmail.com. We got that Royal Love Tour going on right now. We're going to be in all your cities, so hit me up, all right? Link the Link, the movement you want to move with. Cheers. Mel Love, Link the Link, the movement you want to move with, and you watching Posse TV. And I appreciate y'all, you know what I mean? Having one of the founders who started this music and started this TV land stuff, you know what I mean? Because if it wasn't for Follow the Flavor coming out here and doing what we doing, then y'all wouldn't have no podcasts out there. So some of your podcasters need to pay homage to Follow the Flavor and let y'all know where this shit come from. Because I gave y'all blueprint. Jay-Z wasn't the only one with the blueprint, my nigga.
Hey, say
My
that.
sisters, my kings, my queens, my people.
Oh yeah.
Come on, this is innovative right here. This is the light from God. And every time I show up, I'm going to show you God's light. That's it.
Yeah,
Let's go.
yeah.
Let's talk more action. Let's get it.
Let's
Come
talk
on.
some action, y'all.